It's a race report. Hey guys, it's Dave coming to you with the race report from the San Diego International Triathlon, which was last Sunday. This is my favorite race of the year. It is impeccably organized and the course is a lot of fun. I've got really two goals with this race. The first one is to do it 10 years in a row. This was number 4, so we're off to a good start there. The second one is to do it in less than 2 hours, and I'm figuring out that in order to do this race in less than 2 hours, I'm going to have a perfect race for me. So a little bit about the course. You have a 1,000-meter swim to start out in the harbor. Good place to swim, good visibility, and salt water as well. Water's usually not too cold, which again, it was not this year. The bike course is probably the hardest part of the race. It's a 30K bike, very, very hilly. If you're familiar with San Diego, you're basically going from the airport, which is at sea level, up to the Cabrillo National Monument out on the end of Point Loma, doing a loop on top of Point Loma, and then coming back down the hill. Tough bike course. There's a really tough climb about 1.5 miles in where you start to go up the hill, and it's pretty tough. Then the run is a 10K flat right along the harbor. Really actually great place to run, real pretty. Can get a little windy, but it wasn't too bad this year. So my evolution with triathlon, when I first started triathlon, I was in pretty good shape. I just finished P90X Plus, and I was swimming as well at the time. So I was already swimming, and I'd been swimming for a few years, so swimming was a strong part. I didn't really have any bike handling skills, and I wasn't a runner at all. I'd never run, in fact. Spent the first couple of years really focused on the bike. The bike is very technical. In order to go fast on a bike, particularly in the aero bar position, you have to have good bike handling skills or you're going to get killed. So I spent a lot of time really focused on the bike over the first couple of years. This year really was keyed in on the run. The run has been my weakness. The run has been the thing that has kept me from getting the kind of times that I wanted to do, and it's just generally not fun getting passed by everybody on the run, even if you've passed them on the bike, and that's probably even worse. So this year, spent a lot of time focused on the run. Started running earlier in the year. I ran a couple 10Ks, did a couple shorter triathlons, and I ran the San Diego Rock and Roll Half Marathon 3 weeks ago, I think it was, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Anyway, so that was really good, and I felt really good about the run going into this, and generally have had a different mindset about running in particular this year, which has been really good for me. All that work on the run took away from working on the bike and the swim. Spent very little time swimming this year. Did, some pool workouts, stuff like that, 1 or 2 open water swims, but other than the triathlons I did, I really didn't do a whole lot of swimming. Did a fair amount of cycling at home in Scottsdale. It's very hilly where I live, and so I'm generally riding a lot of hills. Here where we're at in San Diego, the local ride, like where I can ride from the house, is just dead flat. It's right along the ocean. We're out at the beach. And I did not go over and sort of recon the course, which is what I've done in previous years, and that really hit me this year. So this year, as I got out of the water, I felt like I'd had a decent swim. I mean, I could tell from the time. I ended up, cutting about 30 seconds off of my swim time, but I really nailed myself to do it. I mean, I felt like I was working a lot harder than I want to. I don't want to have maximum exertion in the swim, because then you don't leave anything for the bike. And the bike in this case is really, really challenging. It's not the type of bike course where you can sort of catch your breath and get ready for the run. You gotta perform on this bike course. I got to the first climb on the bike, and I was just drilled. I mean, I had very little left at that point, and that's pretty early in the race. We got up the hill, felt okay, was riding along, noticed more people passing me than would typically happen, and felt like I was going slower, but I didn't want to push myself too hard, because again, I want to leave energy for a really strong run at the end. Well, what ended up happening was I lost 5 minutes on the bike. I mean, that's where the whole thing sort of crumbled, is I just lost 5 minutes on the bike. I just totally was way too conservative with the bike. Part of that, I think, was because I felt like I just got drilled in the swim. But I think part of it was just not riding hills for the last month or so, really just riding these flat, things just because I was kind of lazy and I should have just put my bike in the car and gone over there and ridden the course. But I didn't, so there you go. The run was good, did the 10K in like 52 minutes, something like that. That's the fastest I've done it. I cut 2 minutes off of last year, almost 2.5 minutes off of last year's time. So I was happy with that. Lost 2 minutes overall. Again, that's just all on the bike. If I do that bike course in the time that I did it last year and have that same run and that same swim, I'm more like 2:03 rather than 2:08. Which is, again, getting closer to where I need to be. Transitions were okay. They can always be faster. Again, it's going to have to put together a perfect race in order for me to break 2 hours. But that's why we have goals. There's always next year, and next year I have learned an important lesson, which is to get over and ride that bike course because it's hard. And I just forgot how hard it was. So anyway, that's my big race report. For me, the next thing now is going to be insanity. I'm going to get back to focusing on that sort of stuff. I am the type of person who likes to change my training a lot. That may hurt my times in triathlon, but it keeps me interested in fitness. I like to do a lot of different things. I'm going to do some insanity. I'm going to incorporate some of the asylum workouts, kind of put together my own schedule focused on building cardiovascular fitness for about 2 weeks, and then we head off to France. We are finished in the top 10 for Beachbody coaches last year. So we won a cycling trip in the south of France. We're going to go from Marseille to Nice, which I am super, super excited about, and that happens in a couple of weeks. And when I get back from that, probably just keep picking up with the insanity. A couple of races I'm going to do later in the fall, which I will talk about in the future because I'm going to be doing some fundraising stuff for a charitable organization related to those races. So super excited about all that. I hope you guys are doing well. And if you're out in San Diego, look me up. Take care. Bye.